Firstly, I'd like to say thank you very much for all of you taking time out of your busy day to come here to the bluegfx expo. If my PowerPoint slides work, look at those transitions. So my name's Ravi. I'm the sales manager for media and entertainment for bluegfx. Just a quick show of hands. Who's ever heard of bluegfx before? And who, yeah, show of hands. Way. And people who don't know us, how did you hear about us? Was it through emailers from other people, I take it? One person got an email. Great, thanks. So what I wanted to do very quickly is just say thank you to Ravensbourne College for letting us use the venue and hand over to, no, I'm going to do the fire and safety stuff first. So in the event of a fire or an emergency, you'll hear sounding alarms. The exits are at the back and through that way. If you come out of the building and follow it around to the O2 and wait at the muster point, don't go inside the O2 because the likelihood is it's going to be something on their end rather than in the college. So if you go into the O2, you're probably going to get in the way of them evacuating the O2 and you'll get involved with the security and probably get nabbed for trying to blow things up or something. If you see me running, don't follow me because I'm a brown guy. Following a brown guy in an emergency is not a good idea. The second thing, mobile phones. If you could just put them on silent. I know everyone's busy and got to reply to work emails. So if you can all take your mobile phones out now and just double check they're all on silent. In fact, I'll do mine as well. A good idea, right? Also, if you are going to be sitting on the front row, if you wouldn't mind not getting your phones out and texting and BlackBerrying and whatever, because it is a little bit distracting for whoever's speaking. And now I'm just going to hand over to Chris Thompson, who's the Director of Enterprise Innovation from Ravensbourne, just to give you an overview of the college and what they've been doing here. Thank you.
Thanks, Ravi. Thank you. Before you get on to the main show and attraction today, I just wanted to put this space and Ravensbourne today in a bit of context for you. For those that may have formerly known Ravensbourne out in Chislehurst in Bromley, we relocated here in October 2010 and invested £72 million in this exemplar digital media broadcast and design facility for London. And we're incredibly keen to make sure that this facility gets used by companies and businesses like yours, as well as our full cohorts of undergraduate and postgraduate students. We've invested £72 million in state-of-the-art digital media, broadcast engineering, design and fashion technologies. We have a full-time student cohort here of 1,700 students spanning all of those disciplines. And importantly today, we're also an innovation lab and a centre for business. The first floor in this building, if you get to explore the building later on, is a dedicated eco-incubator for emergent and start-up companies who are working across software development, film and TV production, visual effects, gaming, e-commerce, social enterprise, architecture and beyond. That's a really important part of our evolution here. We actually removed the word college from our title last year by Privy Council. We are now known as Ravensbourne, which firmly sends out that message that Ravensbourne is here to deliver the critical undergraduate and postgrad teaching that we do across those disciplines, but also to incubate and innovate with new businesses. We do that in partnership with a number of really high-profile clients, large clients like Cisco, Adobe and BT, but more importantly, working with the small players, the emergent companies, the companies on the slightly left field of where technologies, creative technologies, design and media technologies are going. And so regardless of whether you're interested in using Ravensbourne as a future place to study at undergraduate or postgraduate level, to incubate new ideas and businesses, or to work collaboratively with Ravensbourne on joint projects, research, development and consultancy, we're here for you. We've invested £72 million. Come and work with us and engage in events like this and the other things that we have to offer. If you've got any questions about how else we can work with you, please speak to me later on today or a member of the Ravensbourne team. I'd be delighted to talk about that in more detail with you. But I'm going to hand back over to Ravi and get the show on the road, really. So I hope you enjoy your day at Ravensbourne, make the most of it, and we hope to see you here again in the not too distant future. Thank you, and thanks, Ravi.
Thank you, Chris. Thank you. Can I just get a show of hands from the audience, really? Before I go over this slide, don't look at it. It's boring as how it's businessy stuff. How many people we've got from a technical background in the audience? Just raise your hands again. So we're talking IT guys, we're talking about hardware guys, anyone who's a scripter coder, not many people. How many of you guys have we got from more of an artist perspective? So people using things like Adobe, 3D Studio Max. So a lot of you. And how many people are more in decision-making processes? For example, CEOs, people with the money, finance guys. Where's the ones with the money? No one. Right. I'm going to go home. So all the boring businessy stuff. So bluegfx, for those of you who don't know who we are, we've been around since 2002, about £4 million turnover. We've got 4 main offices, one in Guildford, which is our main office, one in Bicester, random place to have an office, one in Soho, and one in Gateshead. The reason why we've got those offices is purely just so that we've got coverage, so that if we do need to go see customers, if we do need to go somewhere on site for any technical support or anything, it's easiest for to do that. Our core business is 3D software, anything that fits around 3D software, hardware, digital technologies, you name it, we pretty much do it. Which kind of leads me onto this slide, which is a very, very busy slide. Don't read all of it because there's just a lot there. We basically do everything that can fit around 3D, or whatever we call 3D. There's a lot of stuff on there that you may not know we do. For those who do know us, there's a lot of AV stuff in there. We do 3D projection, we do e-learning platforms. In terms of new stuff we've taken on board, 3D displays. We've got a lot of stuff on 3D today in terms of stereoscopic. And thankfully, no one's talking about Avatar, because who's bored of hearing about Avatar? Just me? Oh, fine. Yeah, there's a lot on there, really. I'm going to go through the agenda just so that you kind of know what's going on. On your chairs, you should have already had an agenda printout, just so if you get lost. In terms of the way the day is set out, we've obviously got the main theatre here, and then in between each presentation slot, there's 15 minutes. That's for you guys to either ask more questions, for things to run over, and also for you to go outside and talk to all the vendors that we've got outside there. We want you to kind of take away from here to learn more about who we are, what else we do apart from just your 3D Studio Max and Maya and Softimage, how well we can work with yourselves, how we can make yourselves businesses be more successful, and also meet new people, talk to each other, because there's a lot of people in the room that are from businesses that are looking to employ, or you all work together anyway, from, for example, in the post-production side of things. You'd have studios working on different shots within the set, so get to meet these people as well. And also win an iPad too, which I'm sure pretty much all of you have turned up for, and not to hear me talk. So the day itself, in the morning, straight after me, we've got Mike Walsh in here talking about NVIDIA. He's going to go through the basic fundamentals of why graphics technologies are around. He's also going to be talking about some of the work that they've been doing and why you would look at a professional graphics card over a gaming card. Then after that, there's a 15-minute break, as I said, and then we'll have in here, we'll have Autodesk, Jamie and Graham from Autodesk. They're both application engineers. What they're going to do is give you kind of like a very high-level overview of the new features in both 3D Studio Max, Maya and Softimage. They have got breakout sessions later on in the afternoon after lunch, where you'll be able to have more of a one-on-one session, ask them, pick their brains, throw things at them, draw on their faces, just abuse them as much as you like. In breakout room 1, which is on the 2nd floor, so if you come out of this door and go up the stairs to the 2nd floor, there's also the lift, and go to the end of the corridor, we've got the breakout rooms. We'll have Jeff from BlueArc. For those of you who don't know who BlueArc are, they are a sort of a tier 1 top-level storage provider. So if you ever heard of the likes of Isilon or NetApps or anything like that, these guys are kind of on their level, but a hell of a lot better. Jeff's going to go through some of the projects that they've been working on, some of the opportunities in the VFX market, and also talk to you about some of the films and the games that you might have heard of, which have used BlueArc technology. We've then got in breakout room 2, Microsoft, who's going to be talking about Office 365. For those of you who don't know what Office 365 is, it's allowing you to have enterprise-class email storage and servers up in the cloud without having to have an IT manager managing any of this. So for small businesses and home users who want that enterprise-level storage and email systems, you can get this from sort of £4 a month per user. So it's quite cheap, it's quite cost-effective, and you don't have to worry about anything. It's all up there, and it all works. Then again, a 15-minute break, and in here we've got our first guest speaker of the day, Matthew Bristow and Raj Roy. Matthew Bristow is the head of production for Prime Focus, and Raj is the senior stereo supervisor. These guys in the UK have been awarded a lot of contracts for doing a lot of 2D to 3D conversion from a lot of the films. The latest one they've won is the Star Wars stuff. So they're going to go through the basic principles of what 2D to 3D conversion is and how their technology goes about doing it. Really interesting stuff. In breakout room 1, we've got Nigel from Glowfrog Studios. Nigel and Glowfrog Studios, they work within the film and TV and design viz, doing a lot of visual effects and graphic design. He's been involved in a lot of projects, long-form projects, such as Wembley City and the Greenwich Peninsula, so this kind of area around here. He's going to go through some of the issues that he's had and they've had with long projects lasting sort of 10 years. I think the Peninsula lasted around about 10 years, I think it is. So some of the issues you need to consider and pick his brains from the design viz side of things. Then in breakout 2, we've got another Microsoft session. Vas is from the HPC division, and he's going to be talking about things like smooth streaming, why you would look at Microsoft streaming technology, Silverlight over Flash. So if anyone's doing any internal corporate YouTube stuff or you want to stream video out to people, Microsoft's technology is way ahead of what the Adobe Flash stuff does. You know the little spinning beach ball thing you get when you watch YouTube, which really annoys everyone? You don't get that with Microsoft's technology, and he's going to give you a demo on how that works as well. So anyone's interested in that, I encourage you to go see that. Then we've got lunch, the great part. There is a 45-minute break in between when lunch will be served in the last session. The reason why we've done that is just to give everyone an opportunity to actually not focus on food, but talk to everyone else, go have a cigarette, go get a coffee, go to the toilet and do whatever you need to do, answer emails. That sort of. Then lunch will be served at 1 till 2. Afterwards, we've got NPC and Damien in the main theatre. Damien is a stereographer. He worked on Pirates of the Caribbean 4, basically, and how everything should be shot in 3D. So he's going to go through basic 3D principles, how and why we see in 3D when we're watching films and games. I'll also talk to you about the different types of 3D that are out there. There's 3 main types. Conversion, which Prime Focus will talk about, hybrid, and true 3D, which is everything shot and VFX in 3D. In breakout 1, we've got Ion, who have a product called Fusion, which is a compositing application. So if anyone who is using something like After Effects to then take their 3D images, edit them, add some more effects, or redo some of the layers, Fusion's a great tool. It's used by Prime Focus and a lot of other studios. It's kind of a competitor to Nuke. He's going to go through why people would use Fusion over Nuke or anything else like that. And also he'll give you a demo and just pick his brains. So if you're looking at doing compositing or you're considering a compositing application, I encourage you to go see that show. In breakout 2, we've got Tom Box from Blue Zoo. Tom Box is the technical director for Blue Zoo, and he's going to be talking about how it was 4 guys who graduated from Bournemouth University, and instead of going to employment into a normal studio or going into a design viz firm, what they decided to do is stick it out on their own. Within 3 or 4 years, they ended up winning 3 BAFTAs. And that's a great success story. So rather than kind of, going into another company, why not start your own? It's dead easy to do everything from home. So they've got a great story to tell. After that, in the main stage, we've got Peer 1 and Mental Images. These guys are going to be talking about cloud. And what is the cloud? Who, just show of hands, who knows what the cloud is? Who cares? One person at the back. Cool. Okay, so basically cloud is, there's 2 types of cloud. We've got public cloud and private cloud. They're going to be talking about private cloud. And also what they're going to do is do a live cloud rendering and show you how that all works and why you would use that rather than buying a render farm. So that is cool. Breakout room 1 and 2, we've got Jamie and Graham. These are the breakout sessions that I talked to you about earlier. So these are the chances to get in front of these guys. They know the product in and out. They'll be able to talk to you, or you can ask them questions. Oh, Jamie, I was trying to do this in 3ds Max and then it kept on crashing. He'll tell you why. Probably because it's crap. And he's crap. Then we've got, in the main stage, Chaos Group. Who uses V-Ray? Show of hands again. Come on, make your arms work. Who doesn't use V-Ray and uses Mental Ray? Oh, a lot of people. Who uses Max? Show of hands. Maya? Softimage? No one. Oh, one person at the back. Cinema 4D? Kinda. Cool. I like Cinema 4D, by the way. So, Chaos Group obviously make V-Ray. They're going to talk to you about the version 2.0, some of the old features into 1.5, and some of the new features in 2.0. For those of you who don't know, V-Ray was predominantly used to be used only in Max. They now have a version for Maya, and it's taken the VFX market by storm. It's been used in Tron, Thor, and in the Transformers 3 movie, all by Digital Vancouver, and we'll talk about that in the session. Breakout Room 1, unfortunately, has been cancelled at that time. It was supposed to be 3D dailies. We were supposed to have someone from the US fly over, but unfortunately their daughter's ill, so they've not been able to come over. For those of you who are interested in doing stereoscopic dailies and automating the process, find me afterwards. If that makes sense to you, you know you need to come talk to me, basically. Breakout Room 2, Allegorithmic. Allegorithmic have got a piece of software which allows you to create texture tiles within a couple of minutes rather than a couple of days. So anyone who's creating texture tiles for large scenes, whether it's in VFX, whether it's in gaming, or even in design viz, rather than sitting in Photoshop and doing things manually and spending a couple of days creating a nice high-res texture, if you use the Allegorithmic software, which is quite cheap, you can do these things quite quickly. Also, for those of you who don't know, you get their software free and a lot of their what they call substances with 3D Studio Max and Maya. So if you already have 3D Studio Max and Maya, you already have this software. I encourage you to go check that out, especially if you're doing large scenes. Then finally, in the main stage, we've got Richard Lewis from Pipeline FX. They have a piece of software called Cube, which is used by the college and a lot of other studios for render farm management. So if anyone's got a render farm, they would either have heard of Cube or been interested in Cube at some point, I hope. But he's not going to talk about the product itself too much. What he's going to do is talk about how smart is your render farm. He'll talk about business intelligence, why you need to look and really consider a real render farm manager rather than using something like Backburner, which doesn't really do much apart from Max and Maya. They've got drinks and prizes. So the prizes, we've got 12-month subscription for digital tutors. We've got a commercial license of V-Ray, either Max or Maya, so whoever wins can choose. We've got a Wacom tablet, Intuos 4 tablet. It's the medium-sized one, not the large one. We've got a 3D Connection Space Pilot Pro. Anyone use one of these things? One guy, two guys, three. Awesome. Basically, the 3D Space Pilot, I think it's an awesome tool. It's basically like a joystick, but allows you to rotate and view a scene quite easily. So it's more of an organic feeling to when you're within a scene within Maya or Max. It also works with Adobe. It's kind of like the Wacom tablet where you've got shortcut keys on it. But the idea is that you use it with the Wacom tablet as well. So you have this in your left hand and you have the Wacom tablet on the right hand. Other way if you're left-handed. Then we've got an ISO FlexScan 10-bit monitor, which has been donated by Workstation Specialist, who are one of our hardware vendors for workstations and render farms. Great monitor. It's worth, I think it's £450. Commercial license of Fusion, so the software that I was talking about earlier for compositing, it's worth about $5,000. So whoever wins that one gets that. It's great. And then the iPad 2. Just a show of hands, who's turned up just to win the iPad 2? Thanks. Thanks for coming. Now, in your name badges, if you haven't done it already, there is something sticking out, and it's a second sort of name badge which says prize draw on it. There is a little bin outside, a little blue bin. You need to put your name in there, because if your name's not in there, you won't be entered into the prize draw, and we'll be picking names out of that. Also, if you're not here for when we do the prize draw and your name is called out, then you won't win the prize. We'll have to do a redraw. So it kind of keeps you here for the whole day. Evil, right? I just wanted to say, I don't know if anyone watches Stand Up for the Week. Does anybody watch Stand Up for the Week on Channel 4? No. Okay, well, I saw this thing about the iPad 2 launch, and this is a photo of Jules Lewis, who waited 33 hours outside the Apple Store on Regent Street to get the first iPad 2, which I think is ridiculous. What an idiot. But, you know, and they did an interview, and this image is courtesy of spreadingjam.com. And this is what he said was his reason for standing outside the Apple Store for 33 hours.
Why is this so important to you?
Well, if you're a competitor in the Olympics, you always want to get that gold medal.
So if you're a competitor, it's like, you know, getting a gold medal. And you waited 33 hours to get an iPad 2. He then goes on to say things because it's faster, it's more innovative, it's more productive. And this kind of got me thinking about this event here today. And using the latest tools and technologies will make you be more successful. It's not about spending money, it's about how do you be more competitive? How do you be quicker at doing the work that you do? These guys who make these softwares and use these hardwares and make these hardwares, they don't make them for fun. They don't make them just to make more money. They do it to make it everything more productive, to get better effects, to be more creative. And this kind of got me thinking, is this guy, okay, he's a bit of an idiot, right? Why would you stand outside for 33 hours? If any of you come to our office and wait 33 hours for the next Studio Max or anything like that, get a life, please. But it's kind of got me thinking about, you know, this is why people should come to these events, to learn about new technologies, learn about what everyone else is doing, and hopefully you will enjoy the day and take something away from today. So thank you very much, and enjoy the day.